The first round of the NFL draft is next week. And with that date just around the corner, I wanted to give you guys 5 player team fits in the first round that I personally would love to see happen. Let's go. All right, starting at pick 10, I would love to see Tyler Warren, the tight end out of Penn State, land with the Chicago Bears. There's so many directions they could go in here. I honestly would love to see Ashton Jeanty there too. Offensive tackle would be great, don't get me wrong. But the more I watched Warren in particular, the more I thought about what his fit should look like in the NFL. And the more I found myself thinking about Chicago and Ben Johnson, their new head coach, is going to be calling plays for them. So for those who have not watched Tyler Warren, please go watch his highlights. It is like watching a human monster truck play the position. He had over 600 yards after the catch, not 600 yards after the catch last year. He relishes contact. Honestly, he's also got great hands, some really spectacular one-handed catches, excellent catch radius. And while I don't think he is quite there as a blocker, I do think the Bears, who put a lot into investing in their offensive line, would find ways to deploy him, particularly in the run game on the move. They could put him in the slot, line him out wide, put him in the backfield, because they already have a good group of wide receivers and a tight end who's more traditional in Cole Kmet. They could use Tyler Warren as the weapon he is meant to be, and Ben Johnson is just the guy I trust to do that. Next, we're going down to pick 18 and the Seattle Seahawks, and the fit that I, Seahawks fan, would like to see: Gray Zabel, the interior offensive lineman, let's call him that, out of North Dakota State. So Seattle, complete reset on offense, going with new offense coordinator, Clint Kubiak, Sam Darnold at quarterback, DK Metcalf is out, Cooper Kupp is in. There's a clear vision in place, right? They want to run that Kubiak offense, under center, condensed formations, wide zone running game, play action after that. The problem is the interior offensive line needs a lot of work. I would say both center and guard. They have a couple of good tackles, one of whom has struggled with health in terms of their right tackle, Abe Lucas. What I like about Zabel is that he brings positional versatility. He played, I believe, 4 different positions in college, but I think he's best suited to play guard, particularly a guard in this zone blocking scheme. He's a really good athlete. Put him on the move. I thought in college he showed a lot of skill in that regard in terms of zone runs, and it seems like a perfect fit at a position the Seahawks really need to address. Moving down just 2 spots to pick 20, the Denver Broncos, widely expected to get a skill player in the first round. The skill player I'm going to give them is the Ohio State receiver, Emeka Egbuka. I love this fit. So first of all, I'm assuming that Teteroa McMillan and Matthew Golden are probably going to be off the board at this point by the middle of the draft, I suspect. So they're not options. I do like Omarion Hampton a lot, and I understand why people like him for Denver. But Egbuka, to me, just brings the exact skill set they need. So the Broncos, unlike a lot of teams, already have big-bodied ex-receiver in Cortland Sutton, who's still, I think, very good. But they need someone who can work the short, intermediate parts of the field, get yards after the catch, block, which is something Egbuka is sneaky good at, and play out of the slot. That's exactly who he is. I also think he brings versatility that Sean Payton could use. You saw that last year with Marvin Mims in the backfield. Egbuka was used that way as well at Ohio State. And he's just like a quarterback's best friend, really good at finding the voids in zone coverage, good hands. He's a player who is really good when you got a quarterback to play on time because he's going to be exactly where you need him to be. Yeah, I would love this pick for Denver. Okay, actually going back up one to pick 19, I'm doing this because I love this player so much. He's kind of my favorite player in the draft. The Tampa Bay Bucs are picking at 19, and I'm giving them Jihaad Campbell, the linebacker out of Alabama. I could honestly give like a TED talk about Jihaad Campbell. I'm so obsessed with him. First of all, it's a need for Tampa. There's a few different directions they could go in. Edge rusher obviously is a need for them, but linebacker sneakily as well. They did sign Levante David to another year, but he is nearing the end of his career. The legend Levante David, and what better player to learn from than David? But Campbell, I think, is very clearly the best off-ball linebacker in the draft. Candidly, I think he's one of the best off-ball linebackers I've watched on tape, prospects-wise, in recent years. He has all the tools, I believe, to be one of the best backers in the NFL. He is an incredible athlete, showed that at the combine. He has true sideline-to-sideline range. He has incredible closing speed. He is a good pass rusher. He actually started college as a pass rusher, so you could use him as a blitzer. And he's got these really long arms that he uses in coverage to break up passes I think that's an area where he could improve coverage and also diagnosing the run. But again, Tampa would be the perfect place for him to learn. And I do believe when David retires, he could be his successor there in Tampa Bay. Last but not least, the Buffalo Bills, pick 30. I'm giving them a corner. They could go defensive line, but they could go safety. But there is a cornerback that I really love, who I think will be available at this point in the draft, and that's Trey Amos out of Ole Miss. First thing that jumps out when you watch him is just his length. He's got these go-go gadget arms, and he's constantly using them to make receivers' lives hell. 12 pass breakups last year. He's so good at timing his breaks, not interfering, jarring the ball loose. He has the strength and size to play press man well, but I think he's ideal in a zone scheme like Buffalo's. Would love him opposite Christian Benford, one of the best draft picks in recent years. I think Sean McDermott is really good at coaching young players in the secondary, and I think it would be an awesome landing spot for Trey Amos. That's it. We'll see if any of these guys end up with any of these teams. If they do, you should be very happy.